I've been sober for a little over 2.5 years. I do a lot of reach out when it comes to social media. Anybody struggling with mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, addiction. I'm a recovering addict. My drugs of choice was alcohol and cocaine. I had a fascination with putting stuff up my nose. And I've had a lot of requests on a video of what snorting Xanax was like. I'm prescribed Xanax. Xanax is a benzodiazepam. It's used to treat anxiety. And yes, I have snorted it before. I never really got to the point that I abused it because it never gave me the high that like cocaine did. Cocaine stimulant affected me so much differently than what a lot of the other medications did, but I did experiment a decent amount. When you take a Xanax, Xanax is designed to go into your system. Like if you're having an anxiety attack, you're going to take a Xanax, you're going to pop that pill, and it's going to take about 10 minutes for it, at least for me, to hit your system. And it's kind of like a gradual warmth that overtakes you. When an anxiety attack hits me really hard, I'll take a Xanax, and within about 10 minutes, my anxiety attack is over. I'm not throwing up, I'm not vomiting, I'm not fucking shaking. When you snort a Xanax, though, it's going to hit your system in about 2 minutes. I mean, you're literally going to crush that up and you're going to snort it. And it's not a gradual warm blanket feeling almost over you. It is like you went from 100 to 0 real quick. The effects of it are so different because you go to almost a comatose state versus when I take a Xanax, I am functioning still. I'm able to be active. I'm able to do work. I'm able to get my shit back together and carry on with my day. I'm able to function with it. When you snort Xanax, though, it hits you almost so quickly that in some ways you can't. I've taken it because I thought I could outsmart, pharmacy companies. And I was like, dude, I'm going through a panic attack right now. I'm going to crush this shit up and I'm going to snort it right now. And it'll fix my problem instantly. Never was the case. It hit me so hard that I would just sit and pretty much veg out. I mean, I'd be on the couch just watching TV. I wouldn't be able to function well afterwards because it almost hit me too quickly, and it dropped me a lot quicker too. It didn't go through my system the way that it was designed to go through your system. And I think that's why a lot of times we do snort different medications that are out there, whether it's just experimenting with it. I've experimented with different things because I kept trying to find an easier alternative for cocaine. So I started going through the gambit of, okay, what can I snort and put up my nose? It's obviously not a powder form, so trying to crush that up was a pain in the ass. It's popping and spilling all over the place. It wasn't worth it. Xanax, I believe, is a great medication, especially if you struggle with anxiety. It is one that is habit forming. Benzodiazepam drugs are habit forming. So if you do have an addictive personality, you can get addicted to them. Withdrawing from them, and even when you are using those, the thing that you have to watch out for is alcohol. I mean, my big thing is I was a heavy drinker. I mean, I was a hardcore alcoholic. So mixing that with Xanax is deadly. I mean, there are a lot of times that people will die from it. You'll go into a cardiac arrest. Your heart's going to stop. I've had a couple friends that have OD'd and ended up passing away from that combination. When you are in that party stage, though, and that I want to get fucked up stage, you don't give a shit. And so, yeah, I've drank, snorting Xanax. I've drank taking Xanax because I gave no fucks. Luckily, I'm still here. I know a lot of people that are not still here because of it, because it does take a toll on your system. So when you think that you're going to hit this different high, you're going to hit a stronger high. It is a different high. There's no doubt about it. But the medication wasn't designed for a high, and that's a little bit where even the stigma around Xanax forms at, because I mean it is a heavily abused drug. I don't know about anyone else, but in my addictive phase, I was all about amping up and having a good time and partying, and I thought it made me happy, and I thought it cheered me up, and it put me in this wonderful state, this wonderful mood. Fuck yeah, let's party, dude. And I'm going out and doing stupid shit. When you snort something like a Xanax, it does not put you in that state. I don't know how people function, quite frankly. I know people that'll pop, 3 or 4 Xanax and they'll go eat a bunch of food or whatever and shit. And I'm just like, I don't comprehend it. I mean, as an addict, I understand, but my addiction wasn't that way. I wasn't a social addict, but I also was out in public addict. I guess you could say I didn't talk to a lot of other people, but I was around people a lot of times. So taking Xanax, through a crushed form and snorting it, it is going to affect you a lot differently. I think it's a lot easier to get abuse it that way because you do notice the effects that much quicker, and they're very obvious effects. When you pop a Xanax, it's not extremely obvious. Like, that you're not shaking anymore. You can kind of feel your anxiety going away. It's like your brain is breathing. Where when you snort it, it's like your brain just got knocked the fuck out. You're really that incapacitated, and it's no gradual climb. It's like you just hit a fucking wall. I snorted it a few different times, realized that I didn't like the feeling of it. It wasn't one of those feelings that I liked. I knew I was abusing the pill, and it wasn't what it was designed for. So it made me almost less wanting to do it. Even though cocaine, is no better. I was like, well, at least cocaine's designed to be snorted. That's the addict mentality, though, of when we are in active addiction, that we feel that this is the way that the drugs are supposed to be almost taken. At least the way that I ended up feeling when I was actively using. Now I'm very careful with Xanax because of the addictive qualities of it, and I don't want to go through the detox of it either. I've given up too much of my life to addiction to want to fall back into it. And the detox from benzos, I don't want to have to go through a tapering effect. I don't want to have to go through that pain again. The pain of withdrawing from cocaine and alcohol was enough that it wasn't exciting to me and isn't exciting to me to go, wow, I get to do this again with fucking Xanax. No, not my gig, not what I want to do. So when you are taking that medication, my best suggestion is take it as prescribed. Don't try and outthink the doctors. Don't think that, dude, if you're having a panic attack right now or you're having an anxiety attack, you're just going to, hit a Xanax and snort that shit up real quick, because it's going to have a different effect on your body. It's going to have a different effect on your system, and it will hit you so much more rapidly. If you do function with taking Xanax as prescribed, if you snort it, you're not going to be functioning the same way because of how quickly it hits your system. It will get you to that comatose state that you're not going to function. People will know that you are on something. You will not be mentally there. You'll be fading in and out. And it's a battle. If you are having challenges with Xanax and it's not prescribed, get with the doctor. Let them know. You can get off the shit. It's one of those that it brings no benefit, I don't think, whatsoever to life, unless it's saving you on the anxiety route, like it does with me. I take it as prescribed. I might take 2 milligrams of Xanax a month because I don't take a whole lot of Xanax. I now use it as prescribed. I have no desire to abuse it. So if you are struggling with it out there, get with your doctor on it. There's a bunch of different treatments for it. And you can go to NA for it. And it's one of those drugs that people do accept as a strong addiction. It's almost more accepted than what cocaine addiction is, because as soon as I tell people I was a cocaine addict, they're like, oh, I was addicted to benzos, or I was addicted to opiates or whatever. I'm like, good for you. I was addicted to fucking cocaine. But people don't almost even see it that way. Cocaine is more of a recreational drug, where Xanax, oh shit, dude, you're on benzos, dude, that shit's painful. Shit's hard to quit, dude. Were you snorting it? Because I was, I was popping, 4, 5, 6 Xannies a day. No, I was doing 1 to 2 8 balls of coke a day. But get help out there. NA's out there. There's different rehabs out there. Get with your doctor out there. They can help you taper off of it. And you don't have to be a victim to it. You don't have to be a prisoner to your addiction. Anybody out there struggling, I strongly urge you to get sober, because it is worth it. But it's up to you to want to. You gotta want it, and if you don't want it, you're not gonna get sober. So I've been there. I know what it's like. I know the fight, and I know that you can do it. I started a nonprofit called Driven Together. It's a nonprofit that's designed to bridge the gap between a crisis hotline and therapy, sharing just all the tools, experiences, and resources that we can, so that nobody goes it alone. Down in the description box, I have links to the mental health communities for Discord, all my different social medias and tools that I use for when it comes to anxiety, of like a fidget spinner, fidget cubes. I even have a link down below for BetterHelp if you want to try online therapy, because it's trial and error to find out what works for you, is what it comes down to. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'd love to have you along for the journey. It comes down to finding out what works for you. Xanax addiction, I mean, it's a deadly addiction. It's a painful addiction, but it's not one that you're alone in. And that's one of the hardest things that we have to remember when we are an addict, that we're not alone, and that we can get sober, and that the sober life is so much better, and the addiction becomes this different beast. So if you are struggling out there, reach out, get some help. If you've hit that point, get surrounded by support, and you got this. You're a BAMP. You're a badass motherfucker. You've made it through 100% of your worst days to make it through 2 today. You didn't come this far to only come this far. So hit that like and subscribe button. I'd love to have you along for the journey.